Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie, Esther here, and today Dead by Daylight put up this tweet saying let's celebrate another busy Dead by Daylight year, take a look back at all that happened in 2019 and what we are planning for 2020 with a link to this blog post which we'll look at in a minute. But first I want to talk about this corkboard here with all of these wonderful images taped to it. This is art by Adalu Art on Twitter, so you should follow them if you want to see close-ups of these photos that are stuck to the corkboard in higher quality. So let's go check out the blog post. So if we click on the link in the tweet, it takes us to the Dead by Daylight website with this blog post. 2019 year in review. Another year has come and gone. Generators have been powered, chests have been looted, and the entity has been well fed. We'd like you to join us as we look back at this past year and celebrate how far we've come together. 2019 was a year to remember with plenty of new features. The emblem system kicked off the year by shaking up the way players earn pips, with more changes on the way to improve it further. The endgame collapse raised the stakes at the end of a match, removing hatch standoffs and making sure that the game comes to an end. Then came the new party management system, which allowed you and your friends to stay grouped together after each match, making it easier than ever to play together. And last, but certainly not least, we saw the premiere of the archives, which added loads of new goals, lore, challenges, and rewards for everyone to take part in. Dedicated servers have also come a long way since testing first started back in July. There's still work to do, but we are very pleased to see some of the benefits make their way into the game, such as the recently tested disconnect penalties. Bringing servers to Dead by Daylight has been a huge task, and we are pleased to see how much they've improved this year. Alongside these new features, a whole host of new characters found their way into the fog. We've witnessed the debut of 4 new killers: the Plague, Ghostface, the Demogorgon, and the Oni. With them came 5 survivors: Jane, Ash, Steve, Nancy, and Yui. These new characters came prepared with a grand total of 27 new perks. The entity's realm has also grown with the appearance of 3 new maps. But it's not all about what's new. It was also a big time for updates on existing content. Over the course of the year, we've made quality of life improvements to Decisive Strike, Kindred, and countless other perks. In July, Freddy made a triumphant return thanks to the Nightmare rework, becoming one of the most popular killers in the process. At the same time, his old stomping grounds, the Batum Preschool, became the first map to receive a rework. This rework rebalanced many of the loops around the map and added 4 new layouts to spice up gameplay. Making the game more accessible to a wider audience has been a goal for us, and we're happy to welcome players from the Nintendo Switch, the Microsoft Store, and those of you who have started playing the beta of Dead by Daylight Mobile. Now, word from the mobile team. Dead by Daylight Mobile officially launched into beta back in July, and we were met immediately with an overwhelming number of players excited to play Dead by Daylight on the go. With the help of a supportive community, the mobile team has shipped lots of features essential to the Dead by Daylight experience, all the while setting mobile apart with brand new content. We're extremely grateful for your support, and we can't wait to see you in the fog in 2020. And so we look to the future. We're ready to kick off 2020 with a bang as well, with an update to the Doctor and a rework to Lery's Memorial Institute. We look forward to sharing more details soon, as well as all the new chapters, characters, lore, and so much more. We aim to improve how players experience the game and strengthen the foundations we've built so far. And most of all 230 of us are happy to share it all with all of you, our growing community. It's thanks to your passion for the game that we're able to continue supporting Dead by Daylight for years to come. We've had the chance to meet a lot of you at events around the world, from the US, Germany, or even all the way over in Japan. We're hoping the Dead by Daylight family grows even larger next year. Happy holidays. See you in the fog, the Dead by Daylight team. Now, just going back through what was said, I'm going to tell you what I think about everything. I'm very intrigued by the mention of the changes on the way to improve the emblem system further and the way that players earn pips. That's very interesting. I can't wait to see how that comes to fruition in 2020. Endgame Collapse for me is hands down the best edition of 2019. Creating an ending to the game. I think that was a very smart move, and I love the way it was implemented personally. Party management system is also a very nice quality of life change, helping to streamline squatting up with your friends, allowing you to stay together instead of having to re-invite after every match. It makes it a lot smoother. And the archives, I love it because I like the mystery, solving the mystery, finding the clues, figuring out the history of these characters, where they come from, what their motivations are. I love all that backstory stuff in the lore. For me personally, that's a wonderful addition. I can't get enough of that. The challenges and the blood point rewards for completing the challenges are very welcome, allowing you to level up your characters easier with those big bonuses on the blood point rewards for the challenges. And the rewards for the Rift, you know, whether you buy the Rift Pass or not, is up to you if you think the rewards in there for the cosmetics and charms are worth it. But even pushing that aside, there's enough there for me just with the lore and the challenges. So I really love the archives personally, and I think it is a great tent pole between chapters. Mark a new thing going on in the game. I love the archives. Dedicated servers have definitely improved tremendously since they first came out in July. Are they where they need to be? Not yet, but they are improving. It's not terrible right now. I know it's the running joke to say I got dedicated servered on a hit or something like that, but it isn't that different from when you were playing against a killer as a host with yellow ping. It's much better than it was, but it still needs to be even tighter than it is. A little more tweaking to get it to where it needs to be. And I think that's the main reason why you haven't seen it roll out to console yet, because the dedicated servers aren't where they want them to be as an end result. So they're not willing to roll them out to everyone until they feel like they're the best they can be. As far as the new characters who came into the game, of the 4 killers, I love all 4 of the chapters. Probably Ghostface and Oni are the strongest killers that we saw come out in 2019. And of the 5 survivors, what do you think the most used perk is there of what those 5 bring to the table? Head on? Probably head on, right? That would be my guess of the 27 new perks. And the 3 new maps, so that'd be the Temple of Purgation, Hawkins Labs, just beautiful, and then the Sanctum of Wrath, Trappers, also known as Trappers Paradise. Love all 3 of those new maps. And as far as the updates to the existing content, they made a lot of nice quality of life changes to perks here. Too many to name. Even last night I was running Detective's Hunch, and that's a really good perk right now. I love it for hunting down totems. Decisive Strike is fair. The Kindred was a nice quality of life change. A lot of good changes to perks throughout the year. And then they mention, obviously, the Freddy rework. That was pretty incredible, honestly, how they just changed him into a completely new killer. And he's one of the most lethal killers right now. When I see Freddy, I'm not laughing at him anymore, that's for sure. As far as mobile goes, obviously the official launch isn't going to be until 2020 now, but there are ways you can on your devices early. Want to check it out. I should note that I had a lot of people talk about the choppiness of my gameplay in the video I put out with me playing with my son, and that was mostly my fault because I had done an override on the settings of the graphics because I was trying to get a good look at the Winter Chill cosmetics, which I think maybe today or tomorrow is the last day you can get those Winter Chill cosmetics on mobile exclusives. And so I had turned up the graphics really high, and I forgot to put them back down to the recommended setting when I was playing with my son, and it was recording with an onboard app at the same time, and I think that just put too much pressure on my phone processor. And so while my game, when I was playing it, didn't look choppy, the recording came out choppy. So that kind of is misleading for what the game actually looks like. So I would disregard my video choppiness, because that's not what the game looks like. And then we come to one of the most interesting parts of this blog post for me personally, is we know that they're going to update the Doctor. They had told us as much in the Q&A, and we had some clues about that because they had changed the power description and a couple of the add-on descriptions on the Doctor. They read incorrectly, give us a clue to what the new Doctor was going to be like. But the most intriguing part of this for me is the rework to Lery's Memorial Institute. Are we going to get like 5 versions of Lery's like we did with Bad and Preschool? Are there going to be other unique locations? I think it's probably more likely to be the former, with different layout variations of Lery's. I'm eager to see that. I'm assuming when the PTB comes out, maybe around January 7th. Not actually sure when the PTB would come out, that we would test the new Lery's maps and the Doctor rework, and then the chapter would roll out with probably Tome 2 of the Archives, mid-chapter, what are we at, 14.5? Roughly January 21st. That's my guess. I can't wait to check out new Lery's. So that's all I have for you today. I'm really glad that they put together this 2019 year in review to give us some perspective, to show us the good things that came out of 2019 for Dead by Daylight. Because I know the tendency is always to focus on the negative and think about things that went wrong or didn't happen. Like, I can write the comments for y'all right now. I know you're down there going, yeah, but what about my summer barbecue event? And we didn't get a winter solstice and things like that. I know that you're writing them right now. Y'all getting to the end of the video and you already wrote the comments and you're like, oh snap, he knew what I was gonna say. So I like this, that they give us the perspective, and me being an optimistic person, I like that they have those reminders in here to tell us all the good things that came and what we can look forward to next year. I'm looking forward to spending 2020 in Dead by Daylight with y'all. I hope you are too. Happy holidays, everybody. Take care of each other out there in the fog, and we'll see you in 2020. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.